Today on Oz.
I wake up in the morning, I feel horrible. I don't get any sleep.
You think it's chronic fatigue syndrome, but it's not.
There is breaking news about this mysterious illness.
The new disease really causing your exhaustion.
This condition is real. It is not fake. It is not made up.
The 5 questions every woman should ask herself. Plus, how to master your mood swings. Coming up next on Dr. Oz.
Chronic fatigue syndrome. Doctors have been skeptical. Some even doubted its existence, despite the exhaustion felt by millions of women. But now, there is breaking news about this mysterious illness. For the first time, the government is saying millions of women have been right. This is a real physical illness, and they are redefining the entire disease. Dr. Jennifer Caudle is joining us. She says that for her patients and the countless women who suffer, this is a game changer. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So why is this so significant? What's so special about this breakthrough?
Well, this is so important. This condition is real. It is not fake. It is not made up. And now science is backing it up. The Institute of Medicine has now proposed a new name called Systemic Exertion Intolerance Disorder.
Rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Just a little bit. But it's called Systemic Exertion Intolerance Disorder. This is really important because this better reflects what's actually happening. Patients complain of being fatigued. They can't do the activities of their daily life. And this is good for doctors too, because now we have criteria for diagnosing it. And as you said, many doctors have been skeptical. I mean, I have to say, I've been skeptical myself in the past. This is really going to help patients. It's really going to help doctors. And this is a big deal.
All right, so let's help you by giving the symptoms that we think
Yes.
you'll be feeling. So there are over 2 million people that have already been diagnosed. There are many more that we believe have been missed. So this could be the real cause of many people's exhaustion. Could it be the cause of your exhaustion? There are new criteria for the diagnosis. This is important. 5 questions need to be answered. Everyone's got to answer these. The first question, do you have a profound, unexplained fatigue that's lasted 6 months or longer? If you don't mind, define what a profound fatigue is.
Imagine being wiped out, absolutely floored, wiped out, exhausted. And the activities that you do take much more energy than you know they should. That's really what extreme fatigue is.
All right. Second, do simple things, easy things like climbing a flight of stairs, exhaust you? Third, do you have unrefreshing sleep? Let's think about that. What is unrefreshing sleep? Please define the difference between being a little bit tired and unrefreshing sleep.
Sure, I think this has happened to a lot of us at some point in our lives, but imagine sleeping for 10 hours one night, but waking up and feeling like you only slept for 10 minutes. That's the feeling of unrefreshing sleep. You're just not rested.
All right. So those are the 3 key questions. There's 2 more. Do you often have a hard time focusing, or you feel like you've got a little bit of brain fog going on? And does standing for a short period of time make you feel even more tired?
And you know, actually researchers have started really putting the pieces together. They've looked at all the different studies and the symptoms that a lot of these patients have. They've found that a lot of people have worsening symptoms when they stand up. And that's really what we're talking about here. They might be better a little bit when you lie down, but standing seems to make symptoms a little bit worse.
All right, so 5 criteria. How does a doctor like you
Yes.
figure out if it's this new version, this purely defined version of chronic fatigue?
Well, I would say to patients, if you answered yes to 4 out of these 5 questions, then I'm talking to you.
So I want you all to meet Rose, who's been diagnosed with this disease, along with Dr. Ian Lipkin, who is making huge inroads in finding the cause. Thank you for being here, Rose. Dr. Lipkin. So when you first went to see a doctor with the symptoms that ultimately were diagnosed as this problem, what were you told?
Well, most of the time, nobody believed me. They thought I was crazy. They put me on lots of different medications, told me maybe I needed a little bit more sleep, maybe go to the gym, work out. But in the end, the biggest part was, as a woman, I felt like I was just crazy. Most of them said, you're a woman and you just need anti-anxiety medication. That's pretty much what ended up happening.
Anti-anxiety medication.
That's about all I've gotten so
Did you
far.
see more than one doctor?
I went everywhere. I went to my general doctor. I went to chiropractors. I went to an arthritis specialist, rheumatoid arthritis specialist. I've done blood work. I've tried everything.
What does this diagnosis mean for you? The fact that it's there now.
I'm validated. It's real. No one believes me. I wake up in the morning. I feel horrible. I don't get any sleep. Even my family doesn't believe me, and they're out there in the audience, okay? It's real, and I thought I was crazy. I really thought I was crazy.
Well, I want your family to believe you, but I want all the other families who are disbelieving as well to, even plus their doctors. Dr. Lipkin, you've made a huge amount of advances in this area. What have you discovered?
Well, we've been looking at this disorder since 1997. And what Rose has said is common. Most people who have these sorts of problems are not diagnosed for several years. And one of the reasons that this is the case is that there are no good diagnostic tests. You look for all these criteria and you try to find some way of saying this is a common theme and it's likely you exclude everything else and therefore they must have this disorder. So what we've been trying to do is to develop biomarkers. This is the term that means some sort of a finding in blood or someplace else which is unequivocal. Any doctor can look at this and say, this is a patient who has chronic fatigue syndrome, myalgic encephalomyelitis, so the long new acronym that we now have. So our work is really focused on trying to, first of all, come up with some sort of biomarkers that would allow us to readily diagnose somebody like you so you don't have to go through months and years of workup. And secondly, to get insights into why people become ill. We think that this is likely to be an infectious disorder, something that triggers an abnormality in the immune system, which then results in all these problems that you're describing.
Great.
So what does that mean in terms of being able to diagnose it and treat this problem?
So as anyone here who's had flu or any other sort of an infectious disease will tell you, when you have all these chemicals running around in your bloodstream called cytokines, you don't feel well. And what happens with people with chronic fatigue syndrome is that they feel like they're ill. They feel like they're chronically ill. They have low energy, they have the unrefreshing sleep, all the other things. So what we're trying to do is to find out what might trigger this disorder. And the way to do that is to look in the blood, in the mouth, in the lower gastrointestinal tract for bacteria and viruses that might in fact result in these abnormalities in the immune system, which would then make you feel the way you feel.
Crappy.
Crappy.
You know,
All the time.
the reason that I feel so passionate about this topic, and again, it comes up periodically, but this is probably the best example I can think of. Women often are ignored with legitimate problems that we can't put our finger on. And this should give hope, not just for chronic fatigue, but for many other ailments out there we haven't figured out. And the fact that we're now able to get top virus hunters to be able to focus in on the fact that this is probably an infection. Imagine polio. Go back 50 years. Right? When polio was out there and we were petrified from it, you're playing life differently, like so many of you are, Rose.
Yes.
And now all of a sudden, if we can give you a shot and polio is not there, it's no longer something we think about day in and day out. This is emblematic of how we are advancing medicine, which is why this discussion today is so important. So Dr. Caudle, if someone is suffering from chronic fatigue, besides feeling validated and not insane,
Right.
Yes.
and stopping their anti-anxiety medications, what can they do if they're suffering?
Well, I think there's a lot of different ways to approach the issue, and being hopeful, I think, is one of the best things we can do. But every doctor is very different. I like to approach and really deal with the stress and anxiety that comes along with this condition. It can be very stressful
Yes.
and very anxiety-provoking. One thing I think is really important is to pace yourself. Okay, and that's a really big thing. In fact, I have a prescription for everyone out there who think they might be dealing with this. It's called the not to-do list.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
we have our to-do list, but really this is the not to-do list. It's really a prescription to slow things down, to take it down a notch, to back up and do things at your own pace. So instead of having a whole to-do list, you've got your not to-do list, which has got your 3 top things that you really want to get done in one day, and really working on those things at your own pace so that you can get them done, feel good about what you're doing, and also manage the symptoms.
Good advice.
What would it mean for you if Dr. Lipkin and colleagues are able to really find a cure, a treatment?
I feel like finally I'm validated. It's real. I mean, no one believes me. I almost didn't believe myself. I thought maybe I'm crazy.
And if you were treated and felt better, what would you do differently?
Back to the tennis court, skiing. I haven't done anything in 10 years. I can't ride my bike anymore.
10 years.
10 years I've been struggling. Discs, they've named it everything. But more importantly, it's anxiety. You're stressed. Too much to do. Stop working. Rest. Doesn't work.
Let's fix you and millions of people like you.
Thank
you
you.
for being here, Dr. Lipkin. Congratulations for your work, Dr. Cole. I appreciate it. We'll be right back.
Tell us, how do you naturally and holistically combat fatigue?
I take a walk. It sounds counterintuitive, but as soon as I feel drowsy, I get up and walk. It gets my muscles and mind pumping.
Share your remedies on Facebook.com/Dr. Oz. Coming up next, are you often moody? Do you cry, get angry, or anxious? Those emotions could be telling us how best to manage our lives. Learn to master your moods instead of medicating them. The Real Women's Guide to Mood Swings. Coming up next. Tomorrow on Dr. Oz, proof of angels.
How do you know if an angel is sending you a message?
A thought popped into my head. I need to go and see Grandma. And she passed away. I consider it an angel sent us there.
How does science explain divine intervention?
Connect with angels that everyone at home can do.
Will it make you a believer?
What do you have to say to the skeptics?
That's coming up tomorrow on Dr. Oz.
What happens when you get moody? Do you cry? Do you get angry? Do you get anxious? Today, the Real Woman's Guide to Your Mood Swings, which so many women have and they complain about. But here to explain what's going on is psychiatrist Julie Holland, who's got a new book. Now, it's called Moody. I'm not allowed to say the second word, but it rhymes with witches. So Moody Witches.
Sure.
Sort of, sure.
Sort of.
You could write it, I couldn't say it.
Right.
It is true that women are moody. You say it's common, but you actually say
Right.
it's not a bad thing necessarily.
No, it's not a bad thing. It's natural. Women are naturally moody, and that's not necessarily something to be stuffed down or medicated away. If you want to be connected to your partner or empathic with your child or sensitive to your environment, you need to be emotional. You need to be sensitive and receptive, and that means moody.
So what is wrong with the way that so many women deal with their moodiness?
Well, right now, a big problem is that there's a growing percentage of women in America who are taking antidepressants, and it's creating a new normal, which I really think is a problem.
All right, so Dr. Holland says every mood manifests differently, but there's a right way to manage those moods. So let's start with this sad mood.
My name is Carla. When I feel a mood coming on, I tend to cry, even if I don't mean to. I don't want to cry in front of my clients or in front of my kids, but it just happens.
So Carla's in studio with us. So what do you do to try to contain your tears?
Well, I try to think of something happy, but it usually doesn't happen.
Are you crying now?
No.
I'm happy. So
Lot of pressure.
What's the best way to deal with the sadness that sometimes makes us want to cry?
Well, first of all, crying is a good thing, and it's probably the easiest, quickest way that you can feel better is to let yourself feel deeply and let yourself have a good cry and move on. And women apologize for their tears a lot. I'm sorry. It's the first thing women say when they start crying is that they're sorry. But when you try not to cry, you're going to cry for sure. There's a few things you can do. One is you can subtract 7s from 100s. If you're in a situation where you can't cry, you have to sort of shunt the blood from your emotional center over to your thinking, rational, calculating area. So you can subtract 7s from 100. What I do is I just think of rhyming words.
Rhyming words?
It really works.
You like rhymes?
Yes, I do, actually.
All right. I brought some for you. All right, so next time you're going to want to cry. What makes you cry, by the way?
A lot of things, just about almost everything. I mean, it just happens out of the blue, so it's nothing in particular.
Next time you're in an important meeting and you don't want to cry, you're going to do this. Are you ready? Okay. Say them.
Time, climb, mime, lime, grime, rhyme.
Go. You got it.
And look, you're not crying.
And you're not crying. Just have fun with it, get around it, or count by 7s. Which one would work for you, the count by 7s or the rhyming, you think?
I think the rhyming. Counting by 7 is a little bit too complicated.
It would make me want to cry.
Right.
All right, thank you, Brett. Let's get to angry moods.
When I feel a mood swing coming on, my temper flares up, I lose patience with people, my blood pressure rises, but then I do get kind of sad.
So, Karen, how have you tried to manage that mood of angriness?
I really haven't tried to manage it in any way. It just seems I lash out at people, and then it gets me in trouble.
Who's a particular person you might lash out at?
My fiance, Glenn, and my kids.
Glenn?
Yes.
Ooh, how many kids do you have?
I have 4.
That's a good reason to be angry sometimes.
Exactly.
So, Dr. Holland, what's your folks who are angry do?
Well, I think, one thing women do a lot is that we accommodate, we bend to other people. It's like, I can take care of that, I'll do that. Yes, sure, yes. And sometimes you really need to say no. What happens sometimes is you're so busy saying yes and accommodating, and you end up being resentful that you're doing more than other people are doing. So one trick is to learn to say no and to really feel your feelings and then act on them. And also, explain to other people how you're feeling. Like I'm sorry, Dr. Oz, but men aren't always good at knowing what you're feeling.
What?
I know it's hard for you to believe.
Huh?
And I mean, so this is why crying is important, because then they can see that you're upset. Women cry when they're angry too. Mm-hmm. So you want to not say yes so much so that you don't blow up and resent later, and be honest with yourself and with other people about what you really want and what you really need.
Okay.
Can I give you one little bonus tip? as a male who doesn't always listen well, you shouldn't calm down when you're angry. Because it doesn't work, right? What's the worst thing to say to someone who's angry? Calm down.
Yeah.
Right.
Because anger doesn't call for calmness. Anger calls for empathy. The opposite of anger is empathy, understanding why they might have done that crazy thing. Why did that fourth child of yours do whatever they were doing?
Okay.
Doesn't make it right. It just brings an understanding to it that might deal with the anger mood that allows you to deal with the things that we're speaking about that are more important. All right. The final one we're going to talk about is anxiety. Take a look at this mood.
When I get really stressed out, I tend to turn to food, especially junk food, to help with my moods.
So Sherry, how often do you use food, any food, to alleviate your mood?
Probably several times a week, 3 or 4 times a week, because I get really stressed at work.
And when you're by yourself, does it happen too?
Yes, when I get anxious with the family,
Yep.
I tend to turn to carbs, macaroni and cheese, potatoes.
A lot of folks are nodding their heads just like this. Dr. Holland, is it always bad to reach for food if you're having a difficult time at work or at home?
Well, I mean, I think you have to be smart about it if you're going to comfort. We all comfort ourselves with food or with drinks, lattes, Red Bulls, or wine. It's common. We soothe ourselves orally. This is what we do. So for anxiety, I mean, the important thing is that you stay focused on now and the present. Anxiety is always about what may or may not happen in the future. But the other thing is you mentioned carbs. And the truth is that carbs do increase serotonin levels. They do calm you down. I mean, there's a reason they're called comfort foods, right? And bread, pasta, potatoes. These carbs help you to make serotonin, and that will calm you down. But you want complex carbs for sure, not simple carbs, right? And I actually encourage people to have tryptophan-rich foods that aren't carbs, like turkey has tryptophan. I mean, you need, supposedly you're supposed to have carbs before the turkey to help it cross into the brain. It gets kind of complicated.
But let's go through this for a second, if you don't mind, because just to be clear, you're saying since it works, we probably should and would anyway use food to deal with our moods, but maybe the foods we're using, you mentioned macaroni, the simple carbs, but by the way, I know they work, I get it, I hear you, I understand, but there are other foods that can also get you there that don't have the side effects of those.
Right.
So you mentioned turkey, tryptophan,
right.
eggs.
The eggs are high in choline. I eat eggs almost every day, and most of my family does. I'm a big fan of protein. I really try to limit sugar and flour because the inflammation can add to anxiety and depression. So you want an anti-inflammatory diet. Now, the reason why the stinky fish is here is because fish oils are great to decrease your reactivity. Omega-3 fatty acids will keep you a little bit calmer. And chocolate is its own sort of magical food. It definitely has effects on mood. And it is a simple carb, but at least if you do sort of, the high cacao chocolate, it's a little bit better for you, and it's anti-inflammatory.
I could give you chocolate, but everyone knows that, so I was gonna offer you the sardines instead. They're my favorite. What do you think?
I could try them.
She's getting moody now. This is moodiness. We'll be right back.
We all deal with mood swings from time to time. How do you keep yours in check?
I take a time out. Whenever I feel my emotions getting out of hand, I take a little breather and go for a quick walk.
Share your opinion on Facebook.com/Dr. Oz. Next, are you always looking for the latest red carpet trends to stay young, healthy, and fit? Can Hollywood's popular methods work for you too? We're revealing the latest celebrity health crazes, the 5 hottest health products the stars turn to. Coming up next. Tomorrow on Dr. Oz, proof of angels.
How do you know if an angel is sending you a message?
A thought popped into my head. I need to go and see Grandma, and she passed away. I consider it an angel sent us there.
How does science explain divine intervention?
Connect with angels that everyone at home can do.
Will it make you a believer?
What do you have to say to the skeptics?
That's coming up tomorrow on Dr. Oz.
Celebrities are always trying the hottest methods to get fit, look young, and stay healthy. But what works for Hollywood, well, could it work for you? Today, Ebony Magazine's Tia Brown is here to reveal the latest celebrity health crazes. So what is it, Tia, that makes a celebrity trend catch on? Everyone wants to do it.
It's actually not about the celebrities doing it. It's really about real people using the product, showing it works, posting their results, and voila. Then it becomes a trend.
All right, so let's check a couple of them. I come on over here. So with a famous face. This is Gisele Bündchen, of course, as you all know.
Yes.
What is she doing that's super hot these days?
Well, supermodel Gisele is using blue solar water. Now, we often see her coming out of spin class, and this is what she has. Blue soda water is known for its hydrating purposes and for removing negative energy.
Remove negative energy.
Negative energy.
That could be good.
Absolutely.
Will it work for you? Here's the question. Check it out. This is how you make it. Explain if you don't mind.
Well, you can make it very easily at home. You take a blue bottle, you pour the water in. Pretty simple, right?
I'll keep
and
pouring
then
it has to be a blue bottle?
It has to be a blue bottle, and then you let the sun sit on it. Now, the thing is, the longer you let the sun sit, the more powerful the elixir is supposed to be.
Oh, you have a little sun. That's so cute.
A little sun, right? Now, we know that the sun has long known to have health benefits. In addition, the blue is supposed to be calming and relaxing, so together it's thought to be therapeutic.
What do you guys think? Yeah. All the men went like this, and all the women went like
work.
this.
It's about how you feel, right? It's about how you feel.
I don't think it's going to work.
No.
I got to say, there's
No.
no scientific studies behind this. I think the benefits are anecdotal. And there are probably healthier ways to spend your time. Try harder. All right. Let's move on to Beyonce. What's she up to these days? What's she doing?
Now,
this is a big craze she started.
Absolutely. Beyonce has an amazing body, right? She's always fit, she's always hot, she's always sexy. And her latest trend makes me think of the old days. Hula hoop, right? So they're saying that she exercises with hula hoops, and sometimes she even integrates it into her show. It's a great way to have fun, and it's excellent exercise. Come on.
Yep, I'm in this one.
Okay.
This is good. This
Hula
will help,
hoop
I
is
think.
great.
Yeah.
Hula hoop is
First of all, it
great.
burns
Yes.
calories.
That's right.
And you mentioned the fun part. Who wants to give it a shot? Who's going to help me out with this? Who wants to be like Beyonce? Come on down, man. Well, come on over. Come on. We got somebody.
Okay.
Tia, the blue one's yours.
Oh, Lord.
There's yours. What's your first name?
Carrie.
You know how to do this, Carrie?
It's been a few years.
It's been a lot more than a few years for me. Tia, how about you?
No pressure.
Let's do it. Oh, she's really good. The jacket's in the way. All right. Listen, it builds up core as well. Oh, come on.
Yes, yes. And that's off. Okay.
Forget it. Show off. Just show off.
job,
Here,
Carrie.
thank you very much. Here, keep the hula hoop.
Good job.
All right, move on to another famous face, Julia Roberts. So good at so many things. What's the hot craze she started? I'm out of breath, aren't you?
No, because I didn't do it as well as you did.
Please.
You get to exercise.
My knees are sore from hitting the hula hoop. All right. So what's Julia doing?
Julia's known for her eco-friendly lifestyle, and that extends to skincare, right? So one of the best natural products for your skin is green tea. So you can absolutely use this product. It's good for your skin. Come on.
I like this a lot.
Yay.
I really like this a lot. This is worth a try. Green tea, you can add it to moisturizer. It has antioxidants in it. May actually help repair skin, maybe even prepare some wrinkles. So show me how to make
I want
it.
to do that. This is really good. You can do this at home. You can take the moisturizer you already have, boil a tea bag.
You have to boil it?
You have to boil it. Make sure it gets nice and hot. You cut it. Easy. You pour the green tea leaves in. Pretty simple. You mix it up. And then you put this on your face, right? So you don't have to spend a lot of extra money. These are products that you already have at home.
Oh,
so
I
it
like
makes
that
it great.
idea a lot.
Yeah.
I might try that on you. No, I won't do that.
Thank you. We can always use a little zhuzh.
Yeah. All right. Now, Jennifer Lopez, who was just on the show, when she was here, she was talking about all the things she does to stay healthy. And one of the most important ones has created a huge celebrity health trend. And it is?
Sleep. Jennifer says that sleep is her secret weapon, and sleep monitors are a great new trend. Now, you have different points of entry for this. You can use an app, you can use a monitor that sits on your desk, your nightstand, or you can put it on your wrist.
Yep.
So it's a great product.
So the question is, will it work for you? I think actually, if they help you get more sleep, they'll work for you. It's the single most underappreciated problem in America. I love the idea that when you have your numbers, you might realize exactly how poorly you're sleeping. Because a lot of us go to bed and we actually are lying in bed for 7.5 hours, but we're not sleeping for 7.5 hours. So I think it's a great idea. JLo is very smart about this.
Absolutely. I need to get better sleep too.
All right, Leah Michelle.
Yeah, this is
Also on the show. She talked about things that she likes doing for her health, and this is a very popular one now. It's a craze. What's she into?
Now, we've all heard of selfies. The new thing is a healthy.
Yes.
And it's you taking pictures of yourself exercising. Leah loves to do this. And it not only motivates the individual, but it motivates other people because you see that when you work out, you do get results.
There she is doing her yoga that she talked about.
Absolutely.
So will it work for you? I think, yeah. Because it's going to inspire you. It's going to document your health, all the fun things you're doing. You can spread the word to your friends. So I'm going to take the liberty of asking you to take a photo of me. And I'm going to go back and do my hula hooping the right way.
Okay.
Make sure.
Show off, right?
Yeah, make sure you only get it when it's up here. Don't get it when it's down low. Are you ready?
Got you.
Wow.
Wow.
It's a start. I want everyone to get in here. Send me your healthy at DrOz.com. That's better than most. Tia, thank you very much. And check out Ebony's Good Medicine section for more healthy products and trends. We'll be right back.
Next, did you know this salad dressing staple can help keep your home and health squeaky clean? Easy ways to clean up your house and freshen up your life. It even helps out in the garden. The all-natural and inexpensive uses for apple cider vinegar. Next. Tomorrow on Dr. Oz, proof of angels.
How do you know if an angel is sending you a message?
A thought popped into my head. I need to go and see Grandma, and she passed away. I consider it an angel sent us there.
How does science explain divine intervention?
Connect with angels that everyone at home can do.
Will it make you a believer?
What do you have to say to the skeptics?
That's coming up tomorrow on Dr. Oz.
I recently asked viewers to share their uses for something that's in their kitchen already, apple cider vinegar. And the response was unbelievable. It's amazing. Today, we're taking apple cider vinegar out of the kitchen and using it in the rest of the house. And first off, we're going to head to the bathroom where Shannon is here. She says she uses apple cider vinegar for your feet. You have foot odor?
I do, occasionally.
So tell me, give me the solution, because believe me, I'm in that category too.
Well, Dr. Oz, after treading this city on foot and just leading an overall active lifestyle in general, I add 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar to a basin of water. I even infuse it with a few lavender drops at home if I have it. If you don't, it does. Even if you don't have it, it's fine. The apple cider vinegar itself is very deodorizing. I soak for about 15 or 20 minutes, sometimes even getting carried away and doing it longer because it's so refreshing. And afterwards, I take my feet out. I've soaked the day away.
So you don't have to wash it off, you just keep the apple cider vinegar on your foot?
I don't mind it, and even with the lavender being a nice touch, the scent is not a problem at all.
Well, I'm very proud of you. Good idea. All right, thank you very much, Shannon. All right, next, we're gonna head to the living room. Now, Umangi is in the living room. She says she uses it to clean. So Umangi, how do you use apple cider vinegar to clean your house?
So it's really, really easy. All you do is take about 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar. You can dilute it by putting some water in it. So you just add it to a spray bottle. And what I usually do is you just really spray it on the surface and just wipe it off. So you can use it to clean your windows, you can use it for mirrors, even eyeglasses, or even on wood furniture. And
that really works well.
Yeah, it's great. And what I like about it is it's one product that you can use instead of buying several different things for different purposes, and it's natural. So you don't have to worry about any chemicals or any of that kind of stuff.
Monkey, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I love the advice. You know, I'm gonna hold on to this, okay? Because guess what? I love when viewers' ideas literally come to me. They come right onto my set in front of me. So I'm gonna take this bottle of apple cider vinegar and I'm taking it outside where another viewer says she uses it all the time. Michelle's joining us. How are you, Michelle?
Good, how are you?
So you have a bottle already?
I do.
So what do you do with it?
I love using apple cider vinegar as a natural weed killer.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, it works great. It's non-toxic, there's no chemicals, no pesticides. All you need to do is spray it on the leaves, down by the soil. You don't want to spray it on the flower or vegetables. But another thing, if you do have fruits and vegetables in your garden and you are using it, you aren't putting pesticides and stuff on your food, because if you're growing your own food, you're trying to avoid all that.
Where did you get this idea from?
I've been using apple cider vinegar for years. I've found so many uses for it. Not only does it help kill weeds, it is safe for your kids to be around, safe for your pets, and it'll deter deer and rabbits from getting into your garden.
Do we have the smartest audience in television? I gotta get it there. And you brought all your ideas to me. Thank you very much for sharing them. I want to hear all of your new uses for everyday things, including apple cider vinegar and lots more. You can post your ideas on my Facebook page, and I cannot wait to check out what you come up with. Okay, now I want to take a turn to something I saw in the news recently. Speaking of new uses for everyday things, there's a very clever athlete who uses his cell phone in an effort to land a job, but not in the way you might think. Take a look at this. Here he is, he's a San Francisco man. He applied to work at Strava. It's a fitness tracking company. To get their attention, he used their app to track his running route on his smartphone. He spelled out H-I-R-E, hire me. Now, is that clever? I think it's ingenious. This guy deserves the job. This isn't the first time we've seen this strenuous form of word art on the Strava app. There's a cyclist in California who truly went the extra mile to get the attention of the woman that he wants to marry. Look at this one. He biked 18 miles, burned 749 calories in 80 minutes to win his girl's heart. It says, "Marry me, Emily." Isn't that cool? So I always love to see you moving more and tracking your progress. I encourage you to look for ways to use your smartphone in new, healthy ways. Try it out. We'll be right back.
Coming up, hate to exercise? Finally, some great news. We're debunking the myths about fitness. Do you really need to work out longer to get better results? Can you get rid of fat in just one area? The truth takes shape. Coming up next.
Whoever said a doctor's visit isn't fun has obviously never been to the Dr. Oz show. Is that right? Make your appointment today. Go to droz.com/tickets and sign up for free tickets.
Tomorrow on Dr. Oz, proof of angels.
How do you know if an angel is sending you a message?
A thought popped into my head. I need to go and see Grandma, and she passed away. I consider it an angel sent us there.
How does science explain divine intervention?
Connect with angels that everyone at home can do.
Will it make you a believer?
What do you have to say to the skeptics?
That's coming up tomorrow on Dr. Oz.
I have so many folks walking up to me asking, is this health myth for real? So I want to help you set the health record straight in a segment that I'm calling, Is This Myth for Real? Now today I'm debunking myths about one of the things that annoy you the most, working out. But I got some good news in store, especially for those of you who hate to exercise. Let's get right to the first one. The better the results. Raise your hand if you think this myth is for real. Let me see the hand roll. People think working out more is better. Good number of people. You into this?
I am. Yeah.
What's your name?
Hi, I'm Nicole.
Nicole. Are you a big worker-outer?
I am, yeah. I like to work out about an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. I just had twins 4 months ago.
Congratulations on twins.
Thank you.
How do you make that much time to work out?
My husband helps a lot.
Good for him.
Trying to get that post-baby body back.
Okay, most of us, because we're all, more is better, right? We live in America, so we think it's true. But it turns out it's a myth.
Really?
It's a myth. You don't have to work. What if I told you you could work out for 5 minutes a day and get a lot of the benefits that hours of working out will give you?
Well, that would change my whole way of thinking.
Save a lot of time. See, one of the biggest problems I find is that folks think, I can't work out for an hour and a half, or 2 hours a day, so I'm not going to do anything. And that's not the case, because just 5 minutes will get you a lot of the health benefits. I'm not saying 10 minutes is not better than 5 minutes. I'm saying 5 minutes is so important, in fact, so much more important than any other part of the workout, that at least get that little bit in. And let me show you why. You be the 5-minute workout, okay? So go ahead and pump this thing. I'll show you what your body does in 5 minutes of working out a day. That's 1, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Perfect. It's a nice, beautiful, voluptuous body. You've lost your baby weight, you're just what you want to be, your heart's healthy, your body loves the fact, even with 5 minutes of the right kind of exercise, I'll get to that in a second, you can do. Now, let's say I'm one of those big workout people, because I grew up like you, believing this health myth was for real. I got my 2 minutes, my 3 minutes, my 4, and I will keep going. I work out for an hour and a half, that's a lot of people. You keep going like this, it gets a little ugly after a while. And then this happens. Listen, is this a little bit better? Initially, yeah. But when you go on like this, you begin hurting joints, wearing yourself out, and then you stop doing it. Right?
Yeah.
You stop doing it because you realize that you can't keep up with it. So you don't even do this anymore. You go back to this. And I want to prevent this. I want us to be here. So the research just came out, shows that 5 minutes of aggressive, rigorous exercise, like running or jumping or anything like that, was what you need to do. It can't be any kind of work. It's got to be an intense 5 minutes.
Okay.
So pick me an exercise you like. Jumping jacks or running or?
I like to run.
You like to run?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you, no cheating, you're going to run for 5 minutes.
Okay.
And I'm going to check your pulse. That's how we're going to tell if you're doing it the right way. Your pulse, let me see how you are now. Okay. Most people who are pretty athletic will have a pulse that's, somewhere in the 70 range. You're maybe in that range right now, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to check your pulse when you're done. I want you to be up in the low hundreds somewhere.
Okay.
Rigorous activity?
Sounds good.
Right, sure, yeah, keep going, run. But you're gonna run that treadmill at 5 or 6 if you're gonna use a treadmill or anything like that to get you going. Now, while you're doing that, I'll come back and check your heart rate in a second. Let's look at another one of these myths. can spot reduce fat in certain areas. Show of hands. How many of you think, for example, you can do sit-ups and get that nice six-pack that you want? Good part of the audience as well. Well, you sat so close to me, I'm gonna have to pick on you. How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
What's your name?
Shulin.
Shulin. You like sit-ups and all kinds of exercises like that?
Sit-ups, yes. For my tummy, I like to see it well.
You want that six-pack.
Exactly.
Well-defined.
Yes.
All right. so you get into this. Folks, you think this is true? I've heard from so many of you. Well, this happens to be a myth. It's a myth that you can spot reduce. And then we talk about it all the time, but people want to believe it's the case. But I'll show you why it can't be the case. Okay. Not just for a six-pack, but for most parts of your body.
Okay.
So I'm not going to ask you to drink this soda pop. I'm going to ask you to flatten it out like that.
Okay.
All right. That represents your six-pack. You see how nicely contoured it is?
Yes.
You can exercise all you want. You can build up the most beautiful muscles deep down inside you could possibly have.
Yeah.
But if you have this on your body,
that's what I have.
You're not going to see through that extra layer of insulation.
Oof.
Down into the six-pack. It's there. So although it's there, deep underneath, and go ahead and just pour this out under here.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that's how many of us feel jiggly like that, right?
Yes, yes.
So you don't want to have.
I can relate.
We can all relate. If once you look like this on the outside, no one can see the beautiful six-pack hidden underneath.
Yes.
So the real way to figure this out, to get that six-pack or whatever defined part of your body you want, is not to exercise that muscle by itself.
Yeah.
The key is to exercise your whole body in a way that allows with cardio and strength training together. Can I show you an example of how to do this?
Awesome.
All right. So I don't know if you do strength training much. A lot of us don't. Most women don't do that after they get to the 30s
It's
even.
usually cardio.
Cardio, right. So this is something called a spider exercise.
Okay.
Okay, spider crawl. So get down your hands and knees, and then get down into a plank like this, right? And you're gonna, like a kid, crawl like this, like a spider, forward, and then back a couple. And this will get your heart rate up really quickly, and it'll build up muscle at the same time. And that's, if you combine that with a little bit of what's going on over here, and Nicole's been running over there for 5 minutes. Let's go check her out. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
She's sweating a little bit. All right. Now let's keep running, keep running. And get her pulse. Remember, aggressive exercise for 5 minutes, but some with strength exercises. Simple things for all you exercise haters out there. Oh, you're pumping along well. That's really, you're up at like a 120, 130 range.
That's what
That is perfectly done. Keep going like this. That's how you'll get it. Just a few minutes a day done the right way. You want to find out more health myths are for real? Let me know what you've always wondered about using hashtag OzMyths, and we'll be right back. Go, get the legs up. Get the legs up.
This season, Dr. Oz is bringing healthy back. What's your favorite Oz-approved workout?
I'm addicted to yoga. I do it every single day. Fun and incredibly challenging.
Share yours and get more health facts on Dr. Oz's Facebook page. Tomorrow on Dr. Oz, proof of angels.
How do you know if an angel is sending you a message?
A thought popped into my head. I need to go and see Grandma, and she passed away. I consider it an angel sent us there.
How does science explain divine intervention?
Connect with angels that everyone at home can do.
Will it make you a believer?
What do you have to say to the skeptics?
That's coming up tomorrow on Dr. Oz. Tomorrow on Dr. Oz, proof of angels.
How do you know if an angel is sending you a message?
A thought popped into my head. I need to go and see Grandma, and she passed away. I consider it an angel sent us there.
How does science explain divine intervention?
Connect with angels that everyone at home can do.
Will it make you a believer?
What do you have to say to the skeptics?
That's coming up tomorrow on Dr. Oz.
I love all my children equally, but they each have quite diverse personalities and interests. For example, Daphne, that's the one with a little baby in her arms, loves to cook, while Oliver pursues sports, Arabella's into arts, and Zoe excels in academics. But there's a new study that attributes some of these differences to their birth order. For example, the researchers found that the oldest child in a family feels more responsible, while the younger siblings think they're funnier. So today, I'm putting this to the test with two sisters that I found in the audience. Come on over. This is Mary and Laura.
Yes.
All right, so which one is younger, may I ask?
I am.
Is there a big difference?
7 years.
7 years?
Yeah.
All right, so Mary and Laura, we're going to ask you a simple question. I'm going to find out how well you actually pay attention today. By the way, who's funnier of the two of you?
Me.
Oh.
Sometimes she's
Mary,
funnier.
the younger one, is funnier. And you acknowledge, are you more responsible, Laura?
Sometimes. I don't want to claim responsible, though.
You think she's more responsible than you are?
A lot of the time.
All right, let's find out. Let's find out how you're going to do it. We're going to play a whole different way of doing, in case you missed it today. I'm going to see how much you paid attention to the show and have you do it with me. You're going to team up to deliver the messages. Are you ready to go?
Okay.
All right, so Mary, since you're the younger one, Laura's obviously always more responsible from what I'm hearing. And therefore, she probably has some anxiety about those responsibilities. So which of these foods would calm her down? We talked about foods that calm you down. The sardines?
Sardines.
You want to give your sister sardines?
Yes.
All right, here. You think that's funny, don't you?
Yeah, very.
See what I'm talking about?
Thanks.
Well, I happen to love sardines, but you could have turkey.
can have those.
Thank you. Salmon works as a fish too. The eggs would work, but you know, be a kind younger sister and give your sister some chocolate. It's a much better choice, isn't it?
right.
It'll boost your mood as well. A kiss. They gave a kiss to each other.
Thank you.
Listen, we've got lots of recipes on my total choice plan with all the ingredients and easy to make list, so you can check them out on DrOz.com. It's easy to get. Okay, ready to go? Now we're going to go back to the next topic we talked about. Leah Michelle was on. We talked about the hottest health trends among celebrities. And Leah Michelle uses something very special. You remember what it was?
Yes.
It is?
It's the healthy.
The healthy. Do you remember what it does?
It's to take a picture when you are doing exercise.
Right. So you're proud of yourself. Working out. You can motivate your friends, motivate yourself to get out there and do it again. So if it's okay with you, I want you to come over here and do the third item with me. Come on over. Okay. I'm going to take a healthy of you as you do it. You have to remember this.
Okay.
This is the fat-burning exercise that Joel Harper showed us before.
Okay.
Remember this one? So he said, go up. It's a balance exercise. So look forward. Okay. And then put your right foot on your left knee. Okay. Go and put your hands in a prayer and move your hands to the left, your knee to the right. The other right. Then rotate back and forth and back and forth. Keep going, Tigers. Woo! Keep going. Cheer them on. Work with me. Work with me. Work. 1 second. Keep going. Keep going. I'm down here now. I'm over here now. Now it's a selfie. Come on. Oh. Smile. All right. Now it's time for, in case you missed it first, you heard me talk about the health benefits of apple cider vinegar. Now it's time to take apple cider out of the kitchen and put it into your garden and everywhere else in your home. We had wonderful viewers who literally brought their interesting uses right to me. Apple cider vinegar in gardens works well because it's a natural, non-toxic weed killer. You just spray it onto the leaves and then get down low. And when you do that, you actually knock off the bad apples. You stay in the leaves and stems, of course. At ground level, you don't kill up those pesky weeds. But because of the strong smell, it also doubles as a deer and rabbit repellent, in case you got a bunch of those hanging around. So it's inexpensive as well. Finally, please be careful of dubious people online that make it seem like I'm endorsing their products, because I don't. To see a full list of our trusted sponsorship partners, you can go to DrOz.com, and I'll see you next time.